Alright guys, so I thought that we'd kind of do like an overview and analysis of everything that was kind of revealed with the what we thought to be NX, was codename NX, but known as the Nintendo Switch. So that we go back over the trailer, just kind of point out what's in there, and I have a few other things to talk about with basically, some of the other stuff that has come out about it. Nvidia said something. We also have all the companies that have partnerships with Nintendo with this thing. So let's start the trailer up again, real quick here. It's you know begins with him playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, of course. So it kind of looks like the Wii U version, like we were expecting. We're not just probably maybe 1080p, I would assume, on the TV. So we get the title Nintendo Switch. So this is what it looks like when it's in its dock form. It's really interesting. You have to wonder if that is the tablet that is slotted in there. You have to wonder. You do see the two USB slots, which is important. It really I think Nintendo, what they've done recently is they let you use a bunch of different kinds of controllers. I think Smash Brothers is going to be ported to this thing. If we get like a Championship Edition, whatever, I think you're going to be able to use the GameCube controllers. It's got those two USB slots. That is how you just plugged one of those in, one for Rumble, one for the connection itself, and you could play the game. So I think if you're going to have Smash on a system, I think you got to have the GameCube controller at this point. But this is interesting. When you see it slotted in there like that, you have to wonder if it's like an actual connection, like a hard connection, like a HDMI port, if that's where it connects there. Because obviously, it connects out to the TV through HDMI. Or if there's actually, we haven't seen the bottom yet of the tablet part. But is it possible that there is an HDMI port in there, and then it, through some kind of connection, it connects that way, kind of clicks in there? So we have to wonder, like, if that's how it is, it would be kind of crazy if it was wireless. I would guess there's some kind of hard connection in there, and then what other processing and supplemental GPU maybe that's in that dock itself that allows it to run 1080p on the TV compared to probably 720p. You want to keep the price down on this thing, so it would make more sense. I think 720p on the go is just fine for this, but it'd be. I know there were some rumors about 900p, so that would be kind of interesting. We don't really know about the screen yet. The screen, I'll tell you, as we look through this, you'll see that the brightness on the screen, the quality, it looks good no matter what the lighting setting. That's a really interesting thing. So it kind of makes you wonder about what exactly that screen is. But interesting. So you'll see. Okay, so here you have this the controller that he was playing with, which what it looks like is it looks like it is. It looks like it's basically there's a kind of a thing in the middle where you slide the two controller parts down onto. That's interesting, and I would guess it charges those ports, because as you'll see, you're gonna have to have batteries in each one of those, and so maybe when you slide it onto that, when you slide into anything else, it charges those batteries, because there'd have to be some way to charge them. Maybe they're only active because they can be active off the thing. So there has to be a way to charge them, And so this is very interesting. This is the first controller that we see. As you can see, when you slide those off, you have the grips on it. But then you have that thing in the middle, and we don't know if that thing is actually going to do anything else, or if that is just simply a battery with a receiver in it. Like, not too sure how that's going to work. And also the connections of, like, when you connect something to it, it'll be interesting to see how it's getting those inputs out just through like a locked-in connection. So it looks really silly when you take those off, of course. So that's the first controller you see. Not the only one. That is the first one. And so here you can see he's sliding each of the control pads down onto the tablet, is what I've been calling it. The tablet of the NX that he pulls out here. Didn't see if there were like maybe any kind of sensor bars or anything like that, like they've used with the Wii and Wii U. So here you can see it looks like a portable now, like a kind of like a slimmed down Wii U gamepad. Not as much bulk, definitely more portable. It does have control sticks, which is really important. I feel like you need control sticks to play a lot of games out there, especially as you'll see a lot of the AAA kind of titles that are probably coming towards this thing. And as cool as the circle pad is on the 3DS, I feel like for console gaming it doesn't really work as well, and I don't feel like it gives you the same kind of feedback. And as you'll also see, you might not be the only one that's using those control sticks. Alright, so he's playing Breath of the Wild on the go here. That screen still looks fine out there at that time of day that he's outside. And he's fighting like this gigantic freaking boss in the overworld of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which is awesome. Pretty much confirms there's giant bosses roaming around that you can fight. And so there you have the logo again. So of course, taking it to the airport. His girl also has one. Oh, there. So you can see that is the game card itself. And the thickness kind of reminds me more of like 3DS compared to like an SD slot. But yeah, that's definitely a game cartridge. So, that makes sense. Especially if you're taking this long on the go, CDs wouldn't really work. Flash memory is great. Games will load quicker. There'll be less load times basically with those things than if you were to be running a disc or something like that. So it just makes too much sense for any kind of portable device. You can see the headphone jack there on top as well. Alright, so I'm assuming just like the 3DS, and PSP, Vita, all that stuff, you can do probably local multiplayer here, when you're not connected to wireless. So that'll be really good, especially considering that since it is leaning towards having a portable aspect to it. I would guess Pokemon is coming. That they've already talked about bringing some kind of Pokemon game. So I think this leads more towards an actual mainline game maybe coming, because that was a feature that none of the consoles could ever achieve, was taking it on the go. So that's good to see. And they've always been about local multiplayer more than online multiplayer. You got the kickstand there, which is nice. So you can set it down in tablet form or with the controllers connected. You see the headphone jack. So this is interesting right here, and this is going to remind you of the Wii. That's what it reminds me of. He's got the two controllers off like this, just holding them one in each hand. He's playing Skyrim, by the way, which is great. That's exciting. Bethesda just came out and tweeted that they're really excited. They're partnering with Nintendo on this, so that's really cool to see. It's something that I don't know if I ever thought I would see. So that opens up other games, maybe like Fallout, that kind of stuff, which would be great to play that game on the go too. So just, you're playing this on the go. He's got the two. It just looks like a tablet. It just looks like a tablet or a portable TV screen when it's just sitting there, and he's just like chilled back, relaxed, not like up on it. Just kind of. It'll be interesting to see how comfortable that is to hold those like that. So I almost wonder about the those sides there where the connections were. If there's like actual grips on there, so you can like comfortably put your hands there. There might actually be some kind of rubber or silicone that like basically keeps from clinking whenever you snap those together onto the different devices. So that's going to be interesting to see how comfortable that is. It seems, the way he's holding it, seems like he's not uncomfortable holding it. So here you're playing it. It looks kind of like a Vita, doesn't it? Like, I mean, you know, and the Vita is a really nice piece of hardware. It just wasn't really supported by the games overall. But in Japan, it did really well. I feel like this thing is gonna it's immediately gonna do well in Japan. As you'll see here, you're gonna see a game that was new IP that Nintendo had recently in Splatoon that was really popular. It's definitely coming into this, and I always thought that Splatoon, if they somehow could have got it to run on the 3DS, it would have sold really, really well compared to just the install base wasn't there with the Wii U. All right, so he's bringing it back home, plugging it in again, and here, this is important. Like I said, Nintendo has always had lots and lots of control devices. I mean, look at the Wii and the Wii U. Like, how many controllers? Just so many. So here you have the Pro controller version, which they obviously had to have. Not everybody would want to play like that. They want a regular controller. So, of course, they're going to have something like this. You know, looks pretty close to the Pro controller with the button layout just being a little bit different. Looks comfy. I'm hoping that I always was a fan of the colored controllers back in the day, especially the N64. They had so many. And GameCube had a few, but like I'm really hoping that they do that again, because I would definitely buy the, you know, especially look at what Microsoft's doing with the Xbox One S and the Xbox One controllers. You can just completely customize everything about. I love that. That's really cool. I've thought about maybe getting one of those for my PC. So it would be cool to see customizable controllers, which is another patent that I think they were working on, was button layouts and stuff like that. So you see he's playing Skyrim back on his TV again. Alright, so here we have Mario Kart, which, as you'll see, it looks a little bit different. It looks like Mario Kart 8, but it looks like there's some stuff. I wonder if you'll be able to get that thing, like a mount that you can put somewhere. That looked really nice, so you could like play it in the car. Because it, you know, basically to fit that size, I'd assume that's something they're gonna sell themselves. But can you look at what's going on here, guys? So first off, they're playing Mario Kart. There's 2 items. That's awesome. King Boo's right there. So that's 2 things that are already different about Mario Kart. They're playing 2-player Mario Kart with just the device. They've turned the controllers side, or the what do you call them? The grips, the controller grips, the pads, sideways, and they're each playing like a Wiimote. Like that is what it looks like more than anything to me. Is it looks like a Wiimote but with a control stick on it instead. So it's like you took the nunchuck, part of the nunchuck and part of the Wiimote, put them together. It's really tiny, which, you know, this is not ideal, but you can actually play with just this one device, 2-player, literally anywhere. That's never happened before. A console level game, 2-player, anywhere you want, without an external screen. It's completely new, and that's, I'd say, really a big deal, because I mean, I can't even think of maybe some tablets you can do that, and you could connect the phones as controllers or something, but that's so much more expensive overall process. Like they've always been about multiplayer, and this is a gimmick right here that is perfect. It is perfect. It is Nintendo to the T. Being able to play with your friend anywhere, because like I said, they're not really caught up to everyone else when it comes to online gaming, but they've always dominated in local multiplayer. That's where they've always done their best. I can remember just through the years playing tons and tons of Nintendo games co-op with friends and stuff, and this is just really cool to see. I actually really love this, and it's, like I said, it's not ideal control wise, but I mean, get a TV, grab that extra controller, and you can just play like regular, you know. But this is just, you know, hey, you're chilling out with your friends somewhere, you bring your NX, your NX, I keep calling it the NX, your your oh god, I've already know what it's called, the Nintendo Switch with you, um, and you guys can just kind of chill and play anywhere. That's pretty cool. I like that. So like I said, yeah, new stuff in Mario Kart. So it's definitely a different version. And they're alluding something here, right? Basketball, what's going on? That's right, NBA games, sports games coming to a Nintendo console, which has really been lacking them lately. They're not getting the same kind of support from the third parties who usually make those, and that is really important to see. You can play your favorite third party games on this thing anywhere you want. You can't do that with the other consoles. They had to do something different. They couldn't do the same thing. They couldn't get in a power race with the other companies. It's just the Xbox One and the PS4 are so similar already that you don't really want the same thing out of them, and you had to guess they weren't going to do the same thing. And this is it's kind of unbelievable. It's like, we've heard these rumors, a lot of them were right, but it's kind of unbelievable to actually see it happening. So here you have the first controller that we saw again. Look at that. You can get a much better look at that. Look at that really tiny. Look at the plus. Well, you can minus buttons above this the left thumb, but the plus and minus button there at the top, that's really interesting. You got a home button down here. So in my reaction video, I was so caught up in everything that was happening that I completely was just oblivious that this is a new Mario game. This is Mario NX, or whatever they're gonna call it. I don't know if it's Sunshine 2 or Galaxy. I would guess this is a Galaxy game, and the reason I would guess that is because if you look up here, you can see definitely a planet or a moon or something like that. So maybe this is like a desert planet. It probably is a Galaxy game, which is something I know a lot of people have been wanting. That's really exciting. I just was so caught up in everything that was going on that I did not give this probably a proper reaction. So I would guess maybe it is a launch game or something if they're showing it off here already. So as you can see, she's gonna take this on the go with her again. It looks, the design is so good. Whoever the designers were that came, Nvidia and Nintendo together working on this, did a really good job. It looks so sleek. So here you have them playing. Now the question is she playing Mario still? Is there like co-op in this? Not just like Starbits kind of co-op, but like, is there actually co-op in this game? That would be amazing. Because Super Mario 3D World's a lot of fun and everything, but like an actual platforming Mario, it would be curious to see if that is more open world-esque kind of Mario, like Zelda, if they bring that kind of idea over too. And so, esports, that's right, Splatoon is esports now, and Splatoon is on the NX, like I said. Though you'll notice it looks a little bit different. It's going to be interesting to see how they do this without motion controls, or if there is any motion control involved in this thing. Because I know that a lot of people like the gyroscope aiming in Splatoon, but I don't know if that's a popular thing for pro players or not, because I have not really followed it too much. But you'll notice that in Splatoon it looks different. It definitely looks different. So this is definitely like a different version. Notice the hairstyles are different. It looks like there's even more customizable things about the characters themselves. I mean, yeah, here you can see it too. Look at the hair here. All these two hairs are the same, but they're on different sides, and then so definitely more customizable stuff in Splatoon. I think this is gonna just do crazy in Japan, because you'll be able to play Splatoon on the go, and that mobile gaming in Japan is I feel like this thing is going to appeal immediately to everybody in Japan, because over there, it's mobile gaming is much more part of the culture than it is here. You could say people love cell phone games here, but it is kind of a different level. That is a place where the Vita itself is done really well. When considering most parts of the world, it's not. So, and everybody has a 3DS over there. So, it is coming in March. It's good to see that it's not delayed. Question is when, like early March, late March. I don't know. So here you can see, that definitely was Skyrim because Bethesda's right in here. NBA properties, that kind of stuff. So it does look like they're going to need much more third-party support. So let's talk a little bit about what NVIDIA has to say about this. Alright, so it says, the first thing, let's see, actually, can I bring this over here, maybe? Oh, no, I want to bring it over here. Alright. Alright. So first thing to know about the new Nintendo Switch home gaming system, it's really fun to play. With great graphics, loads of game titles, and incredible performance, the Nintendo Switch will provide people with hours of engaging and interactive gaming entertainment. But creating a device so fun required some serious engineering. The development encompassed 500 man-years of effort across every facet of creating a new gaming platform, algorithms, computer architecture, system design, system software, APIs, game engines, and peripherals. They all had to be rethought and redesigned for Nintendo to deliver the best experience for gamers, whether they're in the living room or on the move. A console architecture for the living room and beyond. Nintendo Switch is powered by the performance of a custom Tegra processor, which is what a lot of people are saying. It is a custom one, though. So it is interesting to see, where that falls in between the, was it the 1 and the Tegra 1 and 2 that they had? Because I know if it's more towards 2, then it would be kind of on the level of something like a PS4 kind of scale. It says the high efficiency scalable processor includes an NVIDIA GPU based on the same architectures as the world's top performing GeForce gaming cards. Alright. The Nintendo Switch's gaming experiences are supported by fully custom software, including a revamped physics engine, new libraries, advanced game tools, and libraries. NVIDIA additionally created new gaming APIs to fully harness the performance. The newest API, NVN, was built specifically to bring lightweight, fast gaming to the masses. Gameplay is further enhanced by the hardware-accelerated video playback and custom software for audio effects and rendering. We've optimized a full suite of hardware and software for gaming and mobile use cases. This includes custom operating system integration with the GPU to increase both performance and efficiency. NVIDIA gaming technology is integrated into all aspects of Nintendo Switch's home gaming system, which promises to deliver great gaming experiences to gamers. So interesting stuff from NVIDIA there. This is a really big deal for them because I believe the Xbox One and PS4 are both AMD GPU run. So this is a really big deal for NVIDIA. NVIDIA's kind of been dominating the computer graphics card market, especially with their newer GPUs. I have one back here, the 1080, and that thing is a crazy beast. And I know that they've been coming out with different ones. They have the 1070 to 1060 to kind of compete with kind of the more affordable price, just not like super powerful GPU that AMD just came out with. So but they have been kind of dominating AMD in the computer graphics cards market. But AMD, had those contracts with Sony and Microsoft for the PS4, so that is why this is such a big deal for Nvidia. All right, so another thing that I wanted to talk about was the this is a sampling of the Nintendo Switch partners here, and so when we come to talk about third-party, third-party support for Nintendo, it was very lacking on the Wii U. Initially, they had some stuff there, but a lot of the stuff was ported games from games that were old. You had Ubisoft that made a unique game. They eventually ported that, but this is interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see. We have heard rumors that Ubisoft is possibly making a Beyond Good and Evil 2 retelling / remake / sequel, and it possibly is exclusive to the Nintendo NX coming in 2018. That would be a really big deal. I would guess it would come with some kind of remaster of the first game. So of course we see Ubisoft on here. They have talked about it already a lot before it was announced. We've got 505 Games. We've got Activision, big deal. Yeah, you got to have them on there. They're a big developer. Would be interesting to see. Overwatch. I mean, could you imagine being able to play Overwatch? They could definitely get it to run. But being able to play Overwatch like that anywhere would be just amazing. And that's a game that will be supported for a long time, so I could definitely see it coming to that. You've got Arc System Works. You've got Atlus, so that means maybe Persona 5, which is a really big deal. And then of course, Atlus helped work on that crossover game that eventually became Tokyo Mirage Session Sharp FE. So they have a good relationship with Atlus. Not to mention the Shin Megami Tensei games have been on the 3DS for a while now. You got Bandai Namco, another really good partner with Nintendo. That they helped with Smash Brothers. I would guess they are probably porting Smash Brothers, and I'm hoping that they're porting some other games, and that would be. I'm glad to see them there too. You got Bethesda, of course. We saw the Skyrim stuff. It'll be interesting to see if maybe Fallout is coming there as well. Be a good idea. Capcom, another company that has a really good relationship with Nintendo. I always did think if any company, if they ever would let a company handle a Mega Man game in the future, maybe they would work with Nintendo on that of all the companies. But you saw Mega Man and Smash Brothers. I'm guessing the new Resident Evil game is definitely coming to the NX, and then that comes out not long before the NX would be revealed, so could possibly be a launch game. We got Codemasters, EA. You gotta have EA there, of course. From Software. It's nice to see. Frozen Bytes, Game Trust, Grasshopper Manufacturer, Gung Ho, Hamster, INTI Creates, Konami, of course. Koei Tecmo, yes. I mean, maybe a sequel to Hyrule Warriors. That would be pretty cool. Or maybe a different kind of Warriors game. It'd be cool too. We got Levels, Marvelous, Maximum Games, Parody Bit, Platinum Games would be cool. I'd possibly Bayonetta 3. That would be really cool. That'd be really, really cool. Or maybe Wonderful 101 2. Or maybe another new IP related to that. I mean, that's something that Platinum has been doing. They've been, for a long time now, just, they're the ones working on Scalebound for the Xbox One and Windows 10. Sega, of course. I mean, we already know that the, Project Sonic 2016 or whatever is coming to the NX. We've got Spike. Let's see. We got Square Enix. I would guess both the Final Fantasy games are coming. I think the 7 remake, which is that, if you know the history, that is super interesting. Really, really interesting that that would happen, because the Nintendo 64 was supposed to be where that the original game was. Um, but the new Final Fantasy for sure. Yeah, yeah, no question. Um, Telltale, that's that's exciting. I don't really remember nearly as many of their games coming to the Wii U as a lot of the other ones. Like, but it'd be nice to see like all those, lots and lots of their games coming. You got Take Two, um, THQ Nordic, Tokyo RPG Factory, TT Games, Ubisoft, like we said before, um, Warner Brothers. So maybe we'll be seeing new Batman on there. Let's see, Autodesk. That's interesting for people who are like in the design field. I wonder if we'll be able to. I wonder if it, because it's a part tablet, if we're going to be able to run a bunch of apps that you could normally run on like other kinds of tablets and draw. It'd be cool to use it as a drawing tablet too. I really do wonder. We haven't seen a stylus yet, so in order to see, I feel like that in some ways they're definitely gonna have some kind of app processing on their operating system. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of things they can get on there, like maybe incorporating their mobile games in there somewhere. DNA, of course, and I mean, I think that's another thing to tell you, that DNA is probably helping them with those apps. They're probably helping them with like they are with their mobile games. So like I said, another way that maybe those are coming. And then Epic Games, that's great to see. We've got Havoc, we've got Fmod, Silicon Studios, Unity, Web Technology. It's great to see so many third parties on here. I feel like this list is even longer than the one that we saw for the Wii U. I think if there's one thing that they needed to get right about this system, it was to really express clearly what it is, which I think that they did a pretty good job with that in the trailer, and then get a lot of different companies on board, get a lot of different companies talking about it, and I think they've done a good job of that. So of course we'll have more talk about more NX news as more news drops. There's still a ton of things I didn't even go over. This is already pretty long. I hope you guys have a good day. If you haven't watched the Switch trailer yet, the Nintendo Switch trailer yet, I keep calling it the NX. Go do it. It's kind of crazy to see, and I'm just really excited going forward. Have a good one, guys. Bye.